What's up, YouTube? Eugene here. Hope you're all well. Back again. This time I'm going to do my top 5 fragrances worn for the month of June. I've always wanted to do a video like this, but this is the first time I've kept track of my wearings digitally, so it's making things a little easier. I've always recorded manually whatever I've worn, so I've gotten, for the last 10 years, every single thing that I've worn. But I've never just felt like adding up the numbers. But here we go. Like anybody gives a shit what Eugene wears, but we're going to share them with you anyway. Some of you might be surprised. And there's definitely, you're going to notice kind of a trend with my wearings. Before I start, though, I want to read the comment of the month, which might not be a very good thing depending on how you perceive it. But a viewer wrote, oh, this is in my Sauvage video where I compared it to Sauvage. I compared Sauvage EDP to a Big Mac and just called it really generic and easily accessible. But the viewer wrote, ironic, trashing Sauvage and at the same time a big fan of Guerlain, both belonging to the same owner. And what does that mean exactly? Just because the same owner owns both brands doesn't mean they have anything to do with each other. Neither perfumer works with each other. None of the fragrances have anything to do with each other. None of the fragrances smell alike. And in fact, there's about 10 or 15 companies worldwide that own everything. So everything that we're consuming are owned by the same 10 brands. So I don't know what he's trying to imply. Just because I trash Dior must mean that Guerlain is junk as well. But, really Dior has fallen off the wagon. And Guerlain hasn't been creating their best fragrances, but they're miles above Dior. That's all I got to say about that. I don't think there's much thought that went into that comment. But here we have, smashed up my finger pretty good today. Put a nice, I put it through a chop saw, so I got right to the nail. Dug right into the nail a little bit, so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful the way I hold these bottles. So it's really hot out. June's been it's been getting really hot out here in Toronto. Stuffy, humid. We're starting to sweat. We don't have AC at work, and I'm not the biggest fan of citrus-based fragrances. But this is probably my favorite in all of my collection. By one of my favorite brands, by one of my favorite perfumers, and that's Riviera Concentré by Frederic Malle, perfumer Jean-Claude Elena. And this is really true to Jean-Claude Elena's style. It is a little bit done with a heavier hand than his usual aromatics. This is mostly sour orange and spices of clove and cumin. Not unlike a lot of the other things that he's created for Hermes, being Eau Très Fraîche, Épice Marine. Somehow this one for me really stands out. I think it's all really about the clove. The citrus is nice, but like I said, citrus doesn't really hold my attention for a whole lot. But it's the clove. The clove has really got this sophisticated edge that just has me really reaching for it when I want something fresh and not heavy in the warmer, really hot summer months. A little bit of rose in the hay in here that doesn't stand out a whole lot. It's really just sour, bitter, orange, a little bit of greenness, possibly coming from a neroli, but it's the clove. It's that old man clove that I love so much that stands out for me. Riviera Concentré. And you're going to notice the rest of these here are all women perfumes, which might be weird for some of you. But here is from Hermes, 24 Faubourg, done by perfumer Maurice Roussel. And it's really a shame, Maurice Roussel. I'd really love to see this guy become an in-house perfumer for somebody and see his work on a consistent basis because I do enjoy a lot of the things that he's created. But this one I really love. I love the bottle. 24 Faubourg is the address of their flagship boutique in Paris. The bottle design is inspired by the Hermes silk scarf, just kind of fluttering in the wind, and it's got that nice curvature to it. Um, so this is a big floral perfume. It's all about orange blossom. It's really orange. You got a little bit of aldehydes to it. A very traditional, kind of a throwback perfume. But to me, this is all sandalwood, and it's not a really heavy sandalwood. So I'd kind of compare this to when I wear this, I think sandalwood, and it's almost like everything else is just nuanced. I get a powdery orange blossom. There's some green notes. There's a nice powdery iris in here. Very woody. For me, it's a perfect springtime, a day fragrance. 24 Faubourg. It's almost like a grand perfume, but not heavy, not stuffy, like a lot of woman EDPs can be. It's actually a very fun perfume. Another woman's perfume is Coco Mademoiselle, and this is the eau de toilette, which is the lightest concentration. And I was wearing this on days where it was really hot. It was like almost too hot to be wearing, the EDP or the intense, which I find the intense it can be sickly, sweet, stuffy, and just kind of like drooping. It's got that goopy ethyl maltol cotton candy patchouli vibe. So it can become like really, 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 really sweet in the hotter months. But this one, it is a bit lighter. It is very floral. There's a lot of citrus in here. Oh, it's just gorgeous. I think it's like mandarin, citrus, and grapefruit. The typical Chanel florals, rose, jasmine, iris, powdery. It's got a cleanliness to it. It's fun. And I kind of put ethyl maltol on blast in my music for a while video, and it was because the dosage was just too much. And I think they've really, they've hit the really the proper dosage in this perfume. It is a little bit sweet, but it's an enjoyable sweetness. It's almost like an addictive, like they've put just the right amount to make it addictive. I keep coming back to this perfume. And I remember when I first discovered it, when I first smelled it 10 years ago, it was really weird for me because I loved Chanel. And, after I got to know all the men's perfumes, I kind of went over to the women's side and started smelling all their perfumes. And I was like, wow, I really like this, but I couldn't possibly wear it because it's a woman's perfume. So you can understand my confusion. Here I was loving this thing, and I was like, it would be really weird if I were to buy a woman's perfume because men don't do that, and it's really awkward. And, I'd have to tell the sales assistant it was for my wife or it was a gift for somebody. And so I was just really like confused and annoyed really at the same time until I just came to the point where I don't give a fuck, and I just, I bought it and I wear it. And nobody really comments to me, oh, you smell like a girl or you're wearing girl's perfume, haha. And even if they did, like, what's the worst that can happen? They say you smell like a girl, which isn't really the worst thing in the world. I mean, you could smell like a man, right? Which would be awful. Considering some of the men that I've smelled. Okay, I love that. I really do. Number 4, we have from the Lazo. This is Paris Riviera, and part of their kind of their O's or lows or whatever, but they're a lot more complex than just eau de cologne concentrate. I think they're eau de toilettes. Eau de Toilettes. And this one is really nice. And the sweetness in this really bothered me when I first got to know it. But after a couple wearings, you forget about that sweetness, and you find, what's behind there. And to me, it's mostly a watery jasmine. It's very, very, very floral. It's almost like florals growing out of a pond, or very close to a bed of water. I think this is very feminine, that it might throw off a lot of guys, but it's got that pink color. It does have kind of this pinky vibe to it, which doesn't bother me a whole lot. But this is something it's just really fresh and invigorating, and really good for the heat. Refreshing at the same time. Great perfume. And my number one most worn, I don't think I've ever talked about this. This is number 5, Eau Premiere, and this is in the older style bottle. And I mostly wear this in the evening to bed because I find it really, really, really comforting. It's just very cozy. I can spray on as much as I want. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't give me a headache. I don't get sick of it. The more I spray on, the better I feel, actually. And all right, ultimately, yes, this is a slightly watered down version of number 5. The aldehydes are toned down, but mostly what I get is a high quality lemon. It almost reminds me of a very fresh lemon, almost like a swirly, cottony. It's very soft and cottony, like a meringue pie, or did I say, is it a meringue? Meringue pie. Some kind of lemon pie, like whipped cream, whipped lemon cream. And of course, I get the powderiness in there, almost like a fresh, very clean baby, like a just freshly washed baby that's been powdered and diapered and put into their pajamas for the night. And that's what it reminds me of. It's not bold in any way. It's not crazy, but it's just very well done, very well blended, very smooth. Just very comfortable, cozy, and relaxing. And that's what I love about it. It's what I love about 5 in general. They all kind of have those same attributes. They're very clean. You still got your florals, but they're toned down from number 5. This is more about lemon. And there's got to be some a light touch of sandalwood adding to the the creaminess of this. It's just very creamy and cozy and comforting. Just like whipped lemon cream. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 most worn perfumes. I'd love to know what you guys have been wearing most of. June's already passed. We're second day of July now. But still, nonetheless, I'd like to know what you guys are wearing. Love hearing from you guys. So there you have it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.